Perfect. So, call tracking, what everybody needs to know. We're going to talk about call tracking because it's a powerful tool for marketers, for business owners, just for anybody who's involved with their businesses and wants to grow that. I'm going to show you a little bit about how you can track it, like why it's important to track calls historically, and also to kind of view your marketing holistically, because the lead of the lead, right? We're talking anything from a form fill to an email to a phone call. All those things are potential ways of bringing additional business revenue to you. It's really helps you kind of grease the wheels of your entire marketing and sales process, and can really help you just get a lot more out of it. Um, and then I hope you'll be able to understand just kind of how it works, how you can care about all your leads that are coming in, how it can help you grow your business, and what the kind of some of the powerful insights that it can bring. So we'll go through this through that way. So what exactly is call tracking? I mean, obviously it's in the name. It tracks calls, right? But there's more to it than just that, especially if you're able to get into a good call tracking platform. Um, there's a variety of them out there that you can use. You have to find the one that maybe best fits you. But we have a system that we use here internally that we really like, um, and can help a lot. I'll go into some of the features a little bit later on, but realistically, call tracking allows you to track calls by a digital marketing source or even some offline marketing sources. Um, you some of those examples could be Google Ads, Facebook, print campaigns, billboards, etc. And it's something that allows for better accountability within your business. So both with people who are on the phone, because most all of them record audio for the most part, um, and they can you can track your sales reps and make sure that they are able to convert sales when you get them in. You can track the sources, like I mentioned. You can also track like how a lead may progress throughout the journey, because it can track multiple touch points, especially if you're in a business that may require several different touch points before somebody actually converts into a paying customer. And good ones out there can also provide options for automation, meaning that it will automatically qualify leads or send them an email after the call, or be able to update revenue or things like that, so that you can save time and money, but still get those valuable insights for you overall. To kind of get into more of the nuts and bolts of how it actually works, um, we're going to talk about a couple of things. So first, you have your customer, right, or a potential customer, and this can be anybody who's trying to reach you. And so if you get a call tracking number, then what you'll do is you'll buy like a fake number, essentially a vanity number is another way that they put it. But it's a number that's not your number. It's a specific design number. It does go to your tracking line or to your real phone number. It's called an anchor number, or um, a receiving number, potentially. But you'll get a variety of call tracking numbers. In this example, we've got a few of them: a billboard number, a flyer number, your Google number, a website number, Google Ads number. You'll get a different call tracking number that you'll use on a per source basis. So you'll want to determine what those are ahead of time. You don't want to necessarily track every nitty gritty thing, but you can. You can, in theory, have an infinite number of call tracking numbers that all basically kind of forward to the same anchor number, or it could be different anchor numbers if you have different locations or different places. A lot of call tracking also provides routing options so that you can get to different agents or different locations as you go. But let's just say you have these four forms of advertising, and here you have this 877-555-1231 number. That's going to be your billboard number. So you put across all your billboards. You could get more granular if you wanted. You could say, I want to have a call tracking number per billboard. And obviously, that may have different costs associated with it depending on the call tracking platform that you use. But realistically, you could do that if you wanted to. and all of those kind of forward to your number. So then what happens is when somebody sees that number on your billboard, on your flyer, on your website, or wherever that number is, they'll make that call, and then the data starts recording. Since you know what place you put that phone number, you know that it had to come from there, right? That's why you have unique numbers on a per tracking source basis. So if somebody, you say, went out and you went to a bunch of neighborhoods and you put out a bunch of flyers, or you sent out a bunch of postcards, and you had that same tracking number, you know that it came from that campaign, and the call tracking system can start to recognize it. If you also have people on the line who, your phone then rings, right? You get to that information, and then it starts recording the audio for the call, and you start receiving these business insights. So it connects directly to your phone. You don't have to change your own actual phone number, but rather you're going to send up basically like a call forwarding to yourself. Um, as it records that audio and data, you can get a variety of insights, especially depending on what sort of call tracking platform you do actually use. And so it's really useful for everybody to have this information. We'll talk about some of these business insights that you get, because they're really value. You can figure out things like the contact information. So if somebody calls from a cell phone, that cell phone is registered with a database and attached to somebody's phone number, and so they can see the name of what that is. You can also, at the very least, hold on to the number that was called in. So if I make a phone call with my phone number to a call tracking platform, with a call tracking system in place, it can capture my data there. It can capture the audio from the call. If you're worried about like HIPAA compliance, or not taking, or if you take credit card numbers over the line, there are certain call tracking systems out there that can redact that information, that are HIPAA compliant, or any sort of other compliant, GDPA or GDPR compliant as well. Those are all considerations that call tracking has to have had options for. So those are additional options that can be done. You can see what agent potentially took the call. You can listen to that actual call and provide coaching to an admissions representative or a sales representative of some sort. A lot of tracking systems also allow you to rate the calls. So you can see if it's a solid lead, or if it's somebody that converted into actual paying customer, if it was just a bogus spam call, the wrong number. So a lot of them provide some sort of lead rating system. Um, you can The tracking system that we also use can spot specific keywords, because it pulls out a script and then it says, I want to look for, if somebody said this word, you can find those words. You can track conversions. Um, if you have a tracking provider that allows for this, they can use what's called a dynamic number insertion, which basically puts a little bit of code on your website. And so when a call comes in from a digital source, so if they came from Facebook, it would recognize that the traffic came from Facebook, change the phone number to be a Facebook phone number, so that you know that even though they're on the website, they started on Facebook, or they started on Google Ads or something like that. So you can see how they came into your website originally, which is extremely useful from a marketing perspective, because it allows us to see which campaigns are doing well. Okay, so those are just some of those kind of insights that you can find out, and from there you can see like who your top reps are, right? Who are the people who are really actually driving your sales? What your best marketing source is? Is it Facebook? Is it Google Ads? Is it something else? How long does it take for somebody to actually convert? Like how long of a phone call, or how long of a time frame in between those calls? Super valuable insights for helping you understand what levers to pull, where to push, where to put more money in from a marketing perspective, or training and resources and time into who may need it for admissions people, or sales reps on your end. So that, I mean, it to me, it's awesome. To me, this is something that is a no-brainer. It's something that will help you grow your business. But I know that there are often a few few people who or a few common issues that we run into. Those include it's not worth the cost. It's too complicated for me to understand. Phone calls aren't profitable for me, or phone calls don't make any sense. Like nobody actually calls me. I really don't know how to work phone calls into my CRM system. So the place that I normally track things, I can't figure it out, or I don't have the time to do so. Um, to be honest, a lot of these roadblocks we hear just from people who we just haven't don't have an understanding of how it can help your business. Just like anything, any other thing that you pay attention to, it will pay dividends if you use it in the right way. So understanding that the insights that it can give is one thing, but taking action on those insights, it can really pay for itself. Call tracking really lets you care about every single lead. Okay. There are lots of businesses out there that only care about leads that end up in the CRM, particularly if they come in via form fill on the website. Good news for you. We also have, with the call tracking system that we use, it can also track form fills. So it can help you determine the attribution for source. The CRM is where a lot of admissions people, salespeople live. If it doesn't make it into their CRM, it doesn't get acted upon, right? Call tracking has gotten pretty sophisticated. There's a lot of platforms out there that can integrate with most CRMs. If not, there's also but use cases of things like Zapier that can connect the dots. We have a lot. There's a lot of options to do that to get leads from calls into a place where your people normally live, so you don't have to change your sales processes very much. Another thing that you need to do is you need to care about calls just as much as a form lead, or just as much as any other lead that you may get. Because today, in this day and age, more and more people are even reluctant to hop on a call, right? They want to use a chat, they want to use a form, whatever. Converting conversations are had over the phone every single day. And even in your own business, there are conversions that happen, especially for something that may have a little bit more high value, or something that will really affect affect a career path of someone, or affect how they're fit, how it helps their family, something like that, something that has more value to it. People still want to have a human connection to your business. They need to have that assurance that they're making the right step. And that's why you have sales reps, admissions reps, customer service representatives, all those people, because people need to have a human connection to you in order to do that. They can get a facsimile of this through your Facebook and your social media and other things, but it's hard to beat a real-time one-to-one conversation, right? I know as we've been working from home a lot, we've found that as we have to communicate more digitally, we find that there's a lot of barriers in communication, and oftentimes we're like, say, like, we just need to hop on a phone and like talk it out so we can have an actual conversation back and forth on something. And that's very common for somebody who may have questions that your website doesn't quite answer, or that they can't find online. A lot of people will do their research ahead of time, but a lot of times they need a conversation, and that conversation ought to be tracked, because it tells you more about where your business is coming from. The call tracking we use has a lot of native integrations to CRMs, like I said, and it can nail down the source attribution for form fills. It can nail down that. Call tracking helps you determine what's working within your business and how your leads are getting to you, so that you can get more of them. Okay. So how do you actually use call tracking? You basically buy a phone line for every source that you want to track, and you put that out there. If you have flyers, if you have postcards, if you're going to an event of some sort, which in 2021, hopefully more in a few months, we can actually do more of those sorts of things. You track those. If you have Facebook advertising, if you even have a Facebook page, if you're running Google ads, if you're running anything of that sort, you have a certain threshold of numbers. If you are a business that gets a lot of phone calls, you may have to set up like a something that has a pool of numbers that could be used that are attracted to that same source. And that's also an option that most call tracking providers use. So you get those and you set it up, and then you literally put that phone number on that source. If it's your Facebook page, you use that as your Facebook. If it's you want to track how your Google My Business page is doing, or your local map listing is doing, you can put it on there, so long as you keep your real true number as an alternate phone number. But then you can start tracking that source. Google My Business, in particular, coming from this is director of organic marketing Patrick speaking right now, but Google My Business is notoriously bad at giving us information, and having a phone number on that Google My Business page provides invaluable insights and how much traffic that and potential converting calls that can drive. Secondly, you should ask about dynamic number insertion. Um, it really is a simple thing to do for most anyone that knows how to work with a call tracking script. Your website company should be able to help you for the most part. But really, what this does is kind of, as I mentioned before, is it takes a step further than just if they called from the Facebook page. What if they clicked in from the Facebook page, they were originally on there, and then they got to the website, or something along those lines? It can help give credit back to the correct sources, so you know where somebody started. A lot of people say, "Well, I just asked people where they came from." How many times do you remember where you came from, or how many times do you just put down, "Oh, I was on Google," right? But you don't remember that you originally saw a Facebook ad of some sort and then clicked into that or something like that. It's really helpful to continue to do that. Once you start getting that data coming in, you can then determine what sources are bringing in conversions. How are those sales phone calls being handled? How are they being handled on a per source basis, right? Do our Facebook leads tend to convert better or worse, right? Why? How can I extrapolate that information? um, you can understand how marketing is impacting that bottom line on a more holistic basis, not just names of the names on a form fill. And you can then take that and maximize your marketing efforts. Push on the things that are most valuable to you. If you're getting a lot of leads from Google Ads, great. Maybe you can add some more fuel to the fire there and bring in even more business. Every dollar that's you find out that every dollar spent in AdWords, you get $10 back. That's a great return on investment. Why would you not put more in there? Up to a certain, could be up to a certain point. These are the key insights that you need to really grow your business. So how much does it cost, right? It seems like there could be a lot with this. For us, realistically, it starts at $122 a month. It's a small cost to tracking your advertised channels. Now, if you're a much bigger one, we have some other size packages, but that's our most popular package, $122 a month. You get 500 inclusive minutes, 10 phone lines, which is usually more than enough to track the number of sources that you are running on. We can help you uh, help people understand how they're being succeeding, how to view your business from a holistic view. There's automations within their system to cut down on potential hours of listening to calls. There's a robust reporting to help you make informed decisions on what is working and how it's helping. You can see some of the use cases that we've also used in addition to other things that I've already mentioned is like, when do I need to staff more people? Am I getting a whole bunch of calls at 11 o'clock in the morning? I need to not have people off on break, for instance. I need to make sure that time is sacred, or I might need to hire somebody in to take a morning shift. Or am I getting a lot of calls after hours? Do I need to have an on-site operator for after hours? Those are the types of insights that can really help you grow your business if you pay attention to it. It's it takes a lot of the guesswork out, and it allows you to look at real data and real tracking points to then help you become more involved with the day-to-day and have the data to make the best decisions for your business. So I'll open it up now for any questions that people may have. Like I said, this is something that I've delved into a lot. I work with a lot of home service companies. I work with a lot of dentists, beauty schools, post-secondary education schools. I've worked with a wide gambit of people. So if you have some questions, please pop them into the chat, or if you can raise your hand, we can talk about it. I'm happy to help you out. How do you take the next step? Perfect. So if you are a current client of ours, talk to your account manager. They will be able to help you go to figure out what the best package is for you, and your system. If you're not a current client, I'm going to show you. I'm going to share my screen again so that you can see exactly what you need to do to get some help on this. We have people who are ready to talk to you. Just got to make sure that you are ready to go. So if you go to our website, oozlemedia.com, you hit this big yellow button, Contact Oozle. Or you can hit this red button down here. But this one, if you go to here, you'll go to our Contact Us page. You can give us a call right now. We'll have somebody ready to help you. Fill out a form right here. Just say first name, last name, put your phone number on there. And then you can put in there the how can we help. Say, hey, I was listening to your call tracking webinar, and I'm interested to know more about how you can help me with these solutions. Cole. Yeah, if you're working with Cole right now, you can send him an email. You can also shoot me an email. My email is PCONNOLE. Once again, PCONNOLE. I'll put that in the chat. And I'm the one that usually does a lot of the setups for call tracking. So if you have something a little bit more custom or something that you may need to onboard your call tracking, but you can I can get you set up on whatever that might be. There's a ton of different things you can do. It's completely custom. So I have like some specific setups that we do for most people, but if you need something more custom, we have that available. Nick. Yes, that's a great question. So this is primarily for tracking income calls, but you can also track outbound calls with it too. Different call tracking systems have different ways of doing it. The system that we use, that you start an outbound call within the platform itself. There's a desktop version and an app, and you can also track outbound calls as part of that. So that's also an extremely useful feature. There's also features that can automatically start an outbound call once a form comes in. For instance, there's a way to set up a trigger, is what they call it. You can also track, so that those can be recorded. It can also sync up with your CRM. So if you use like a HubSpot or a Salesforce or any of the many CRMs that are out there, you can usually sync that record back up as well. So that's helpful. Great question. Any other questions out there? Appreciate the ones that were asked. I'm so glad that they're on there. Okay, awesome. So once again, if you need some help with call tracking, I dropped my email into the chat, and you can also respond to the email that you got, reminding you about this. You can also fill out a form on our website, give us a call. We like to have you come anywhere. If you do give us a call, obviously we're using our own call tracking, so we'll definitely be able to listen in on it. But it is something that we can help that. We'll also be sending out a recording for this. You can expect to see that within the next day or two. And we will have a blog up on the website that will recap the same information if you prefer to read about it. So it'll have not only the recording to this, it'll have it in written format with some additional screenshots on the blog of what the call tracking system actually looks like. And I'm also happy to help you understand where you can go next with it. It's an awesome system. It really helps you grow, and we want to help you understand your business holistically here at Oozle. So we're happy to do that. This is a free resource for you. Let us know if we can help.